Well, good morning, everyone. How you doing? How's your day? We got Viderma here in Sudbury. I don't know about you guys. Okay, here we go. Elaine, you're numero uno today. Good for you. Nice to have you on. Okay, Bill, number 2. John, number 3. Nativity, good morning. Rita, good morning. Michael, or Michelle, Ryu, good morning. Kevin, Wendy, good morning. Markham, Elaine, and Mary. Micheline, bon vendredi to you too. Jeanette, good morning. Nick from our staff. Jerry, Nouveau-Brunswick, and Doris. Good to have you on this morning, guys. Jeanette from our staff. And Anne. Frank, how are you? Salpi, how are you from Montreal? Nina, New York. John and Linda. Another Elaine. Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Charlotte. Sodi or Saudi. Nancy. Kapuskasing. Joy. Yolande. Bonjour. Brenda. BC. Bright and early. Catherine from BC. Bright and early. Lise. Fran. Orangeville. Rita and Jordan, Tennessee. Good morning, Jordan. Mara. And one that calls me Grandpa all the time. I don't know why he does that. I am, though. I'm a great-grandpa, too. Lisa, Jocelyn, Sophia, how are you? Tina, Sandy, Washington State. Judy, Connie, and Delphine, how are you? Dorothy, Frances Marie, good morning. Okay, 2 more. Patricia and Kimberly, good morning. We appreciate you guys. Let's get going. It's question and answer Friday. So let's get to our questions, okay? So, Heather, she's got 3 questions. Okay. What causes low creatinine levels? And, well, look, when you look at creatinine, whether it's high or low, it's the same problem. Okay? High creatinine, not good. Low creatinine, not good. Here's what it means. You got kidney problems. You got kidney stress. And your kidneys are not working at the function they should. Okay, so there's several ways of testing them. One is protein in the urine. The other one is creatinine. You can look at your GFRs. And there's a lot of ways of testing kidney function. And they usually do a complete kidney function test. And creatinine is one of them. If it is low, you got problems. Okay? So, low levels, your kidneys are stressed. Do the reset. Get off sugars. You may not be drinking enough water. 3 things that I talk about all the time when it kidneys. Kidneys is blood supply. The first thing that happens when you get insulin resistance, your blood vessels are under attack, especially your little capillaries in your eyes and in your kidneys. And oftentimes you're eating too many carbohydrates, too much sugar, or you're not drinking enough water, okay? So that's what you got to look at, Heather. If blood tests show high calcium levels, well, why is that? Well, if you got high calcium in your blood, you got a parathyroid, okay? So thyroid, para, beside the thyroid, okay? That's what para means, okay? They're little wee glands, parathyroid glands, that help your body to neutralize. They help to keep your blood within a certain range. And if you got problems in your parathyroid, you could be secreting too much calcium. Okay, so that's a problem. You got a parathyroid problem usually. Okay, that's what the parathyroid glands do. So that could be, there could be other reasons, but that's the main reason. Glucagon. Does the reset increase glucagon levels? Well, let me just say this, Heather. Yes. And I try and get people not to get into the weeds too much. Glucagon works with insulin to stabilize blood sugars. Glucose, gone. Glucagon. Sugar out. So don't worry about glucagon, okay? I tell people, don't worry about that. Worry about insulin. That's the one. It's food. Okay? It's food. And you will develop insulin resistance if you are a carboholic. That's how it happens. And your body was never meant to secrete insulin the way we secrete insulin in this day and age. Insulin and glucagon is to get, remember what I always say about insulin, get sugar out of your bloodstream. Get it out. Your body knows more than the rest of the world does about sugar. In moderation, and you know what I mean? And, the food industry, I'm telling you, they're such big liars. Liars, pants on fires. That's who they are, generally. And they add sugar almost to everything. But sugar is toxic. Everything in your body fights to keep your sugar out because it's so destructive. We just talked about kidneys. Sugar destroys kidneys. Why do you think we see so much problems with kidneys today and dialysis? If you got any money on the side and you want to invest in dialysis, because it's coming to a theater near you. It is so prevalent today. Not that there wasn't dialysis before, and thank God there's dialysis. It can keep a person that has no kidney function alive. The problem is we're seeing so much of it today. And the reason we're seeing so much of it today is sugar, honey. Okay. Heather, thanks for those great questions. Ginny, our grandson was just diagnosed with keratosis pilaris. Okay. What is that? Bumps on the skin. Why would you have that? Leaky gut. I guarantee you, Ginny, your grandson has leaky gut, leaky skin. It's almost a little bit like an autoimmune. What happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut. The microbiome, probably because of a combination of antibiotics when he was a kid and, feeding the bears a yeast, fungal. So what do you do about that? Probiotics. Try and get them not to feed the bears. It's hard when they're 14 or whatever. They don't understand it. But It comes from the gut. 100%. It's leaky gut. Stuff gets into his bloodstream that doesn't belong there. And it's often manifested away from the gut. Leaky gut, leaky skin. Anything on the skin, just about. From eczema to psoriasis to dermatitis or whatever. It's very rarely ever localized because it has its origin in the gut. It's your microbiome, babe. Okay? It is. And you got to fix that. You got to fix that. You got to stop the leak. You know? The plumbing's got a leak in it. It's microscopic. You don't see it. But, you have a tight mesh, or at least you should, in your gut, between your gut and your blood, a tight mesh. It is one layer thick of cells, but it keeps garbage. You see, your blood should be pristine. Your blood is a river. The river of life, the Bible calls your blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Can't live without it. And your body is unbelievable. Like, you can have some garbage in there and your body's doing everything it can to get rid of it. But your immune system, a lot of times, what it does, it overreacts to it. Because it flags things that, the body sees it. Your body's smart. It sees foreign stuff, like yeast even, in the blood. Yeast doesn't belong in the blood. It's not supposed to be in your bloodstream. That pollutes the river. Your river of life should be pristine. And that's what happens. That's what happens. So when your grandson or whatever, Jenny, that's what happens. It's leaky gut. Gina, I take Navital once a day. Why do my ankles swell when I fly? Well, you got a circulatory problem. My ankles swell when I fly. You know what I do about that? Okay. First of all, drink lots of water when you're on the plane. But my ankles swell. Okay? It's microcirculation. Join the cast of millions that have that. Okay? That's one of the biggest problems in flying. Especially, I knew patients and friends, whatever, that had blood clots. A pulmonary embolism after taking a long flight from, one of them came back from Israel. And within a few days after the trip, they almost died from a blood clot, pulmonary embolism. The clot in the leg went up into the lungs and pretty near killed them. And it could kill you. That's microcirculation. You're not moving enough. What do they tell you in the plane? Better get up every once in a while on a longer flight, okay? For me, you know what I do? I wear compression socks, okay? Compression socks. They're good for flights. And my ankles swell. When I sit for a long period of time, they really do. The blood pools. And you got little valves in your veins that the valves are not, getting older. They don't send that blood back like they used to. And so if that happens, Navital's good for it. It really is. Because what Navital does is it opens up your blood vessels because it elevates your nitric oxide. We talked about nitric oxide, even with vitamin D, the sun. But when you're on a plane and it swells, I would tell you, Gina, to, when you do fly, start wearing compression socks. Yeah, that's what I would do. Jojo, I got a grandson, Jojo. I don't think it comes from him. When I eat raw vegetables, it hurts me. Well, stop. Jojo, I'm teasing. Well, I'm not, in a way, because he's saying gas, bloating, massive gut gurgles. Well, I talk about that all the time. Vegetables are overrated. Fiber is overrated. Look, I always get pushback, and I always, in all due respect, okay, to my vegetarian friends, and listen, guys, okay, I'm trying to make a point, and sometimes I get a little dramatic. But if you got gurgling, if you got gas, and you got bloating when you eat vegetables, well, I would tell you there's a reason for it. You're not a rabbit. You're not. Rabbits have an enzyme that you don't have. Okay? It's called cellulase. They have that enzyme, you don't. What's that mean? Well, if you look at most plants, they have a protective mechanism so that humans won't eat them. Now, look, I'm not telling you not to eat any plants, okay? Don't come back at me. But you're not a rabbit. You know what? People with diverticulosis and diverticulitis and IBS and inflammatory bowel and Crohn's, you know what I do? I get them off vegetables most of the time. There's too much fiber. It's irritating the gut. Now, you're thinking, okay, and I wouldn't do this. Oh, I'll just have a V8. Ooh. I don't like... Oh, you can have the odd V8 if you want, okay? But it's this thinking, okay? And look, Jojo, you may not even think like this, but a lot of people do, okay? I talked to a young man yesterday, and I just had to almost zip it. In my head, I was saying, Doc, zip it, because he wasn't listening. He wasn't, Linda, listen. He wasn't listening. I was trying to give him advice, but he had it in his mind that the vegetable kingdom was better than the animal kingdom. Okay? And I could tell that he wasn't listening. I was going to give him some, I was going to give him info, but he didn't want it. He was convinced he was right. And he was talking about kidneys. Well, plants, better for kidneys. I said, well, I beg to disagree with you. Then I went like this, zip. I zipped it because he wasn't listening. I used to do that with patients in the office. It didn't happen often, but it did happen. They come in. I said, here's your problem. We took all your blood work. Here's your problem. Now go do it. Here's the solution. Now fix it. Oh, Doc, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with your diagnosis. I don't agree with your treatment plan. Okay, that's all right. Saranara. No, I was respectful, but hey, You make that decision, not me. And you know, like I'm off in a little bit of a rabbit trail there, Jojo. But I'm not. You guys have to admit this about me. I'm pretty consistent, right? I've been saying for a century, just about, okay, that fiber's overrated. It's overrated. Why do you want so much fiber? Right? But that's drilled into our psyche today. Fiber, 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 fiber. They drill it in. And, you just say a lie long enough and it becomes the truth. But it really isn't. But people, I need my fiber. Yeah. For your gut, I'd rather you invest in probiotics. Let me read a study. I think I have it right here. I was going to bring this out. See if I have it real quick. About the percentage of, hold on a minute here. I made notes on it the other day, just about probiotics. Here it is. I found it. Okay. Probiotics increase colonic transit by 57%. Study. A 42% with probiotics decrease in constipation. Here's the headline. Staying regular with probiotics. Okay? 57% colonic transit, meaning your feces. It increases the movement in it 57% through your large intestine with probiotics. Hot off the press. That's why, okay, I've been consistent. If you have digestive issues, be very, very careful with fiber. Okay? Be very careful with fiber because it will irritate big time. Okay? Chicken and salad. Chicken and salad. Okay. Anyway. Jojo, thanks for the question. Jennifer, wondering why triglycerides would double up and HDL has gone down on the reset for you. Jennifer, I don't want to use the word. Somebody told me I can't use that word anymore. The word weird. They don't like that. It's not woke. Jennifer, I love you, but you're different. No, listen, Jennifer. Okay. You're unique. Okay? Peculiar. If I looked in the dictionary under weird, I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of different unique I'm teasing, okay? I come from a big family. We are 11 kids in our family. You better have a thick skin when you got siblings, lots of them. Okay? So right from the get-go, I got teased, and I learned to give it back, too. Now, Jennifer, listen. When you empty your liver, 99.9999, their triglycerides go down. their HDL goes up. What are triglycerides? They're fat balls. Triglycerides. Fat balls. 3 of them. And you want your HDL to go up. Why? Because HDL is cholesterol that hitches its wagon, that has a big hitch. Have you ever had a hitch installed to your car? Or a hitch installed to your truck? I got a hitch on my truck. It's actually got 3 balls on it. Okay. I went to Canadian Tire and I got 3 balls on the back of my hitch. You know why I have that? Because I got a boat. I want to put my boat in the water and take it out of the water. You know what those hitches on your cholesterol, HDL, they hitch their wagon to those fat balls. How do you make fat balls? Sugar, carbs. And Jennifer, if your triglycerides went up and your HDL went down, and you did the reset, it's different. I can hardly give you an explanation because, you're just, here's what I suggest. Don't get discouraged by it, okay? Because that doesn't mean your liver didn't empty itself. It's just, might take you longer to get those numbers reversed. But I wouldn't be discouraged about it, okay? I love numbers, okay? So if I don't love all numbers, because there's somebody else that's asking the question. Let me get to the question, because somebody else is doing it. Cindy, what do you suggest to lower cholesterol? Cindy? Okay. Why do you want to lower it? You want to raise it. Yeah. You want to raise cholesterol. You don't want to lower cholesterol. I know. 99% of all physicians, 99.9999, like Jennifer, want to lower cholesterol. Why? Because they're wrong. Cholesterol doesn't give you heart disease. If it did, we would have cured it by now. Because they have a drug. It's called a statin drug. Statins were created to lower cholesterol. Well, only one type. LDL. So they made cholesterol the bad guy. Because they have a drug. They got together with the cereal companies. I've told you the story of the greatest serial killer of all time. Ansel, A-N-C-E-L, Keys. Ansel Keys was the greatest serial killer of all time. Why? Because he was the starting guru of cholesterol causes heart disease. It wasn't true from the start, and it ain't true now. And look, I'm John the Baptist crying in the wilderness, telling people, elevate your cholesterol. Get your cholesterol up. Cholesterol here. Get your cholesterol. Get it up. Because it'll hitch his wagon to a bad fat. You know what a bad fat is? Not cholesterol. Cholesterol's not your bad fat. Triglycerides are your bad fat. They're fat balls. They'll clog up your arteries. And you make them by food. It's sugar. It's crappy carbs. That's what elevates triglycerides. You can't live without cholesterol. You just can't. Everything in your body is made up of cholesterol. Every cell in your body has a cholesterol wall. Your brain, your hormones, they get transported. Ladies, that's one of the problems in hormones. You don't eat enough cholesterol. And cholesterol is only found in the animal kingdom. Why do you think they made it a bad guy? Because Dr. Kellogg's wanted you to eat cereal and not bacon and eggs. Was he smart? I guess so. Was he rich? I guess so. Was he right? No. He wasn't right. He was wrong. It's basic human physiology. Rabbits don't need cholesterol, okay? They don't. They don't need to eat it. But you do. If you are a human being and you live on planet Earth and you have red blood, then you need to eat cholesterol. If you don't, you'll still live because God don't even trust you. He makes 85% of it. He only asks you to supply 15% of cholesterol. Every day, 7 days a week, I get asked that question. Doc, how can I lower cholesterol? And you know what? Let me, Cindy, I'm teasing. Okay, so understand, man, I'm not picking on you, okay? I'm not. Because you're not alone. Everybody thinks that way, just about, except my listeners. Just about. I mean it. But, and you asked the second question, what about blood pressure? Well, blood pressure comes from sugar because it affects your kidneys. Sugar destroys kidneys. And the first thing to happen is blood pressure gets changed. And you know, there's other factors. Blood pressure can be dehydration. The river's not moving enough. You got blood like molasses. I mean, it's a big factor. That's why I'm such a big guy on vitamin W. Okay. Okay. Now, stuff about, Shirley's asking about, unidentified, glomerulonephritis. Okay, and again, it's kidneys. Okay, asking the question, unidentified. Is fish, dairy, and meat the problem? No. It's carbs and sugars, unidentified. Okay? It's not dairy that's destroying your kidneys. Unless you're drinking milk from the grocery store. Don't drink that stuff. Because that's white Pepsi. Okay? But it's not dairy. It's not meat. It's not protein that destroys your kidneys. It's carbs and sugars. Okay? And guys, I'm right. 100% I'm right. I have no doubt. Tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of patients over the years that I put on a very extreme low carb, high protein and fat. You'll thank me later. Okay. Surely, high percentage of people in Saskatchewan have radon, R-A-D-O-N gas coming up from their basements. How does it affect your health? Shirley, I just got to tell you, I'm ignorant. I'm not sure. I haven't seen enough studies. I know what it is. I don't know how it affects the human being. I would say it's almost just not my area of expertise. And I would defer you to people that know what they're talking about, because I could give you an opinion, but it wouldn't be worth much because I haven't really studied it. So maybe I will. I don't know. Okay. JRT. How can you treat without antibiotic symptoms and root cause of recurring UTIs? Well, we talked about that. We talked to you about that. Recurring urinary tract infections are always caused by fungus, yeast, candida. It's always in the main cause. So leaky gut, leaky bladder, and recurring infections of the urinary tract. It's fungal. And that's why antibiotics, they might relieve for a day or two. I tell people, okay, you got a lot of burning, get rid of, but then you got to understand it's wiping out your friendly bacteria. So you need to do probiotics. We have a Candida formula that I created, Tony Jr. and I. It's a tremendous formula, and we proved it because what we did with it, remember, I was in practice, guys. I had to get rid of yeast. It was never easy. Fungus is like a bad relative. Hard to get rid of. Okay? It's hardy. It loves your moisture. It loves to live in the gut. It loves to live in your sinuses. It loves to live in your bladder. It loves to live in your lungs. It loves moisture because it is a cousin of mold. It really is. So, you have to be determined to get rid of yeast. If it's in your bladder, if it's in your lungs, if it's in your sinuses, if it's on your skin. You got to get rid of it. And don't feed it. Number one, don't feed it. Number two, probiotics. Number three, the Candida formula. Because we have developed a formula that helps to get rid of it. And like I said, we can see yeast. See that microscope back there? You see it? I looked at yeast in blood. I saw it in my sleep. I saw it so often. Yeast don't belong in your blood. But we could wipe it out with discipline. Don't feed it. It lives on sugar, guys. It just lives on sugar. Don't feed the bears. Where do you think that expression came from? Right? I've been talking about that for so long. Wow. Okay, let's get back to a few more questions here. Okay, and Grace is asking for okay, so Gertie, 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 Charity, Gertie, Grace. What to do now for children ages 2 to 9 who have been on antibiotics, and what can they take? Probiotics. Get them started. Everybody and their dog should be on probiotics. And probiotics, the best, are broad spectrum, many different strains. I hand pick our strains of bacteria. Do you know that? I've been around a long time, guys. I've been given probiotics for years and years and years and years. Okay? And different strains do different things. And when you get, I handpicked L. reuteri and just the right amount, and L. rhamnosus, just the right amount, to kill yeast. And when kids have taken antibiotics and they wiped out their, that we did this week, and it wipes out your microbiome, you've got to replace that. And I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to have to tell you this. Yogurt won't do it. Sorry, it just won't. One little capsule, 50 billion bacteria. You'd have to eat 16,000 yogurts, 4 ounces, to replace that. I don't think you're going to do that. Okay. Anyway, I'm big on it. Consistently big on it. I always start with the gut. Start with the gut, fix the gut. 3-year-old baby, here we go again. Sharon, eczema, leaky gut. So if that baby's breastfeeding, mommy takes probiotics. Mommy. And if she's breastfeeding, I would even open up a little bit of powder and put it around the nipple. Just a little touch of it. And because the baby's going to get the probiotic. Mommy delivers the bacteria through the breast milk. Ooh, good question. We appreciate it. Okay? Yeah. Susanna, Eagle syndrome. You know what? I almost got to look it up again. Susanna. Boy, that's a trick question. Isn't that when you got a real pain in your throat or jaw, and it's chronic and it's very sore? And I got to look it up, Susanna, to answer your question. I think that's what it is. I haven't looked it up. If that's what it is, send me the symptoms, Susanna. Who you're asking for, and number 2, what their symptoms are. How old are they? Whatever. Did they have a trauma to their throat? Or what? It seems to me that's what that is, but I don't remember exactly. Okay, sorry. Okay. Brenda and Rita. I'm going to put them 2 together. Why are illnesses worse at night? Well, you ain't moving. Your body needs almost perfection to get a good sleep. Okay? Everything, no pain. Everything is hunky-dory in order for you to go to sleep at night. Now, if you have a chronic illness, you might be a little bit better during the day, and then as soon as you get ready to go to bed, pain or discomfort. And, Rita's asking about why is heartburn worse at night? Same reason. And you're lying down. And even if you elevate yourself, which I'm not against that. Elevate your pillow. If that helps you, good. But at the end of the day, it's, circulation is one of them. You're not moving. You're not as distracted. And like I said, for sleep to occur, for your body to go into airplane mode, where it's not getting any data Almost a lot of things have to happen. Okay? And so, yeah, that's why, I mean, almost every condition's worse at night. Okay? And Lise, I talked to you about the Candida-Parasite Formula. What does it do to your body? Well, it's made to kill yeast and parasites. I got to do a thing. I always say I'm going to do a thing just on parasites. You got a cat? Yes. Well, then you probably got parasites. Okay? People love their animals, but you shouldn't be kissing them. Okay? Like, not because of COVID, but because they're animals. Okay? Anyway, good question. Jim, if you eat protein with carbs, apparently it's more health beneficial than eating carbs on their own. Well, maybe a little bit. It all has to do, Jim, with insulin. And, you know, protein and carbs, does it help with decreasing insulin? Don't put fat and carbs together, like a donut or a muffin. For sure, that's going to make your insulin explode, okay? Protein, steak with a potato. Does it help the potato? Jim, it's a good question. Probably not. Okay? Not so much. Okay? No. It's steak without a potato. Okay, would be the best. But, you know, maybe a little bit, Jim. Margaret, what do you think of L-carnitine for nerve pain? Well, I like L-carnitine, but when you eat steak, you get L-carnitine. The 3 C's. Okay? Carnitine is a real essential amino acid. Very, very good. Yeah, nerve pain, yep. L-carnitine is very, very good for your heart, too. But I'm not big on taking it necessarily in a supplement. I'm big on you eating it when you eat steak, because you get a lot of L-carnitine when you eat steak. Margaret, thanks for the question. Okay, guys, I think I hit them all. Okay? I'll review, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you, our audience, more than you know. Okay? You guys are wonderful, and I mean it. Talk to you soon.